Hola, ¿qué tal? Mi nombre es Gonzalo Portilla y soy el director general de Amigo Abroad y les doy la más cordial bienvenida a este nuevo video, a través del cual les brindaremos la información sobre los programas de verano en Thornton Academy. Thornton Academy es uno de los colegios que integran la Asociación de Colegios de Internado de los Estados Unidos y que Amigo Abroad representa para México y Latinoamérica. En esta ocasión nos acompaña Katie Niketakis, quien es la directora asociada de admisiones en Thornton Academy y quien también es la responsable de los programas de verano. Así que sin más preámbulo, los y las dejo con Katie Niketakis. Adelante.
So welcome to the Thornton Academy Virtual Open House featuring our Summer at Thornton Academy program. We're so excited to have you joining us all this evening from all over the world. I am going to be hosting tonight's event. My name is Katie Niketakis, and I run our summer program. And we're very fortunate to have one of our really, really wonderful Thornton Academy summer program teachers. He's going to introduce himself in a little bit. But before we get started, a little bit of housekeeping. So first of all, this webinar is being recorded. We're going to share it with additional families and the like afterwards. So just know that it's being recorded. And if you do have any questions at any point during the presentation, you can feel free to use the chat feature, or down at the bottom of the screen, you have a Q&A box and you can ask any questions in there. We will be answering questions at the end of the webinar today, so please feel free to put those in at any point. So before we get started, just a little bit basically about Thornton Academy. In addition to running our summer program, we are a private boarding and day school located in Saco, Maine, the safest state in the United States. These are some important words for our school community. Down below, we have our 4 pillars of respect, responsibility, compassion, and investment. This is what we want our students and staff to do and be like. And then at the top above the photo, you can see our real philosophy for our students, which is we want our students to be who you are and become who you want to be. And that really goes through to our summer program as well. And you're going to see that we offer a lot of different classes, a lot of different activities. And so all of that is really encouraging our students to be who they are and then go on their path to becoming who they want to be in the future. My name, like I said, is Katie Niketakis, and I am the director of our summer programs. It is one of my favorite parts of the year is to do our summer programs, to just see the joy that the kids have being here in Maine, to just witness like just the friendships that are formed and the learning and the improvement in English. It's a really great opportunity from kids from like our local area and all over the world to get together for classes and activities and just have a really great experience in the summer. So that's a little bit about me. I also work in our admissions office. I used to be a teacher here at Thornton Academy. So I've been working here for almost 18 years. So I've got a lot of experience. And I am just very excited to be on this webinar and be telling you all about our summer program. So we also are fortunate to have Daniel Pickard here with us. So Daniel, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Daniel Pickard. I am a Thornton Academy summer camp teacher. I am going to be doing the robotics class this summer. I have been with the summer camps for 6 years, and every year it's just an amazing time. We get to travel across the state of Maine and just experience a lot of American activities, which is wonderful. And the students, it's just awesome seeing them participate in those cool cultural activities.
Awesome. Yeah, it's really, I just, we've been doing these virtual open houses, and often one of the questions at the end is, what's your favorite Thornton Academy moment? And mine usually is, something that happened during our summer program. So we should have a chance to get to some of those later. All right. So where is Thornton Academy? We are located in the state, for those of you coming from overseas, we are located in the state of Maine, which is in the northeast corner of the United States. We're about 90 minutes from Boston. You can see we're very close to the ocean, which is so beautiful in the summer. We're about 15 minutes from Portland, Maine, which is a city of about 70,000 people. It's the biggest city in Maine. It has some really great restaurants, museums, and we get to go there during the program. So yeah, it's a really great location. As I mentioned, Maine is the safest state in the United States, as voted by US News and World Report. So it's a really safe, wonderful place to be, particularly in the summer when it's just so beautiful. This is our campus. So during the summer program, we do use a lot of the campus, certainly not all of it, because you can see here that it's very large. The students will stay in one of these dormitories over here. We have 3 dormitories. So all of the students that are boarding students will be in one of these dormitories. We have all of our sports fields that we use for a lot of the summer activities. The dining hall is here in the middle. And then we use a lot of the classes that are in our technology center, and then our arts wing for our summer classes. One reason is because they're air conditioned, so it's a little bit more comfortable, but it's also just a nice place to be in the center of campus. We do have a library that we will also take students to on campus too. So here are some details sort of for the program this year in 2022. The dates are Sunday, July 24th until Sunday, August 21st. So you can see it's a 4-week program. The students do have the opportunity to come for only 2 weeks if they want to, so they can do the first 2 weeks or the second 2 weeks. Most students will come for the full 4-week program, but if you do have someone or you won't only want to participate in a 2-week session, that's a possibility as well. The program is open to any student ages 12 to 17, and that's all genders. And then it's open to all local and boarding students. So that's one cool thing about the program, is that in our classes, we're going to have sort of local students from the Saco, Maine area, and then also boarding students that are going to come from all over the world. And so it's a really great opportunity for kids to get to know each other that would never have the opportunity to meet otherwise. And then for our friends that are coming from far away, we do offer airport pickups in Boston and Portland, Maine. So you can choose whichever airport is more convenient for you. And we'll talk more about some of those details as we go. You can see throughout the presentation that we've got some photos from past years. We were not able, sadly, to run the program in 2020 or 2021, but we have some pictures from past years. You can see me here with a student named Catherine on our lobster cruise. We're just doing a lot of fun things along the way. So daily schedule. So this is what a typical day will look like at the program. So we wake up at about 7 o'clock. We have breakfast at 7:30. And then the main academic focus of the program is you have 2 classes that you get to choose from. And the classes range, and you're going to see the list of classes for 2022 in a minute. But the classes range from anything from science to arts to humanities. We do offer ESL classes for students that either need it or want it. We are going to test all of the international students upon arrival. And if their English is, not as good as not as strong as we would hope, then they will be required to do the ESL class. But otherwise, they're welcome to choose from any of the other classes. So you can see we have 2 2-hour classes every day from 8 until 10, and then 10 until noon. And then at noon, we have lunch. And then at approximately 1 o'clock, we're going to go on our afternoon activity. You're going to see a list of some sample activities, but they're really fun. We take advantage of Thornton Academy's great location, so we're able to do outside activities, indoor activities. A lot are fun, some are educational. It's a real mix, and we're hoping that, everyone will find some activity that they really enjoy. We come back on campus for dinner at 5:30 every day, which is kind of early, but that's where we are. We have a little bit of study time after dinner, and then we do an evening activity. And the evening activities sometimes are on campus, sometimes are off campus. It just depends on what we're doing. And then we have free time at about 9:30. And then at 10:30 is lights out, and that's when the students are expected to really be in their bed, ready for sleeping. So you can see that it's really a full day. So the whole day is taken up with really great activities and classes, and the students are really busy. So there's not a lot of free time, not a lot of downtime, but but we just find that really keeps everyone very happy and engaged and making new friends with people from around the world. These two pictures I'll talk about real briefly because they're two of my favorites. So the top one is from 2 years ago. You can see the girl's shirt, 2019. This was actually, but they're both from 2019. So this was an international cooking night that we did. So all of the kids from different countries made a dish from their home country, and we all ate and enjoyed them together. So I thought that was really neat. And then the bottom one is we have a Jimmy Fallon game night where we do all these fun games on campus. And so you can just see all the laughter and smiles that we're doing there. So, all right. So Daniel, I'm going to turn it over to you to talk about sample activities.
Yeah, of course. So being in Maine, we get to do a lot of great summer activities, like going on a lobster boat cruise. We actually get to pull lobsters out of the trap, get to see them. And if you want, students can purchase them and eat them, which is great. They're very tasty. We get to do a lot of American things, like going to a baseball game. In Boston, we will visit a couple of local universities like MIT and Harvard, which is wonderful academic to see what an American university is like and visit the campus. We also do art museums and mini golf. Quite a difference there, a lot of fun. We have students who are very interested in the art museum in Portland that we go to. And we have Capture the Flag, which is a great game. We do that at night and we have glowing wristbands and it's a lot of fun. And we always end up playing multiple rounds. And then at the bottom there, we go to a concert at sunset. And that's a really, really fun time. We get to listen to music overlooking the water in Portland. And it's just very calm and relaxing. And then there's all kinds of activities in between. We do weekend trips, which are coming up, and we'll talk about those in a minute.
Awesome. Yeah, so you can see it's a really, really wide range of activities. Similarly, we have a really wide range of classes that we are able to offer. So all of these have been confirmed. We're still working on confirming our final list of classes for 2022. But here are some really exciting ones that we have. So you can see anything from geography of the earth, songwriting, creative writing, linguistics, robotics. There's a lot that you can choose from. So again, if you're coming from an international location, unless your English is, pretty low, you're able to choose any of these other classes. If you do want to do ESL, or if your English is not so great, then we do offer ESL as well. And you can see there's a couple pictures of us here. So here I am. This is Kamcha. She was one of our students from Czech Republic a few years ago, and we're presenting her with her certificate at the end of the program. And here's Daniel gathering sea creatures. Yep. All right, great. Weekend?
Okay, we do a lot of great weekend activities. The first weekend, we generally go to Boston. On this Boston trip, we take a tour of the Freedom Trail, which is a lot of history. Boston is one of the first cities in America, and it's a great time. We visit MIT and Harvard. We go to Faneuil Hall, which is shopping. There's a lot of history of that too. And it's just a great time in Boston. And then weekend two, this is my favorite one. We go to Acadia National Park. We get to do a couple different hikes. We get to go swimming. You get to explore Bar Harbor, some shops and great food. And then to kind of cap it all off, we have a whitewater rafting trip. And it's just a great bonding experience to finish the summer off. Everybody goes whitewater rafting. We do some hikes, we go swimming, and just it's like camping in Maine. It's just a great time.
Yeah, it's really, really, really amazing. In 2019, at the end of the whitewater rafting weekend, I just remember we all got together and everyone was hugging, and there were tears, and it was really a memorable trip. So So here are some details about the program. So as you can see here, we do offer the full 4 weeks, which is July 24th to August 21st, and that's $6,000 for the 4-week session. Or you can do the first 2 weeks for $3,000 or the second 2 weeks for $3,000 as well. Pretty much everything is included in that fee. So all tuition and class fees, Dormitory accommodations. We don't do homestay in the summer, so all students live in the dormitory together with some of the staff. Meals, we do 3 meals a day on weekdays and 2 meals a day on weekends. Those are all provided with like maybe 2 exceptions throughout the summer. Health insurance is included, airport pickup in Boston and Portland on specific dates, and then the activity fees. So the only thing that the family is really responsible for is, any spending money. So like souvenirs, shopping, that sort of thing, obviously is not included. And then also flights from wherever you're coming from are not included as well. So just budget for those. There we go. And yeah. And so then, we're going back to sort of our philosophy, which is at Thornton Academy, you can be who you are and become who you want to be. And our summer program is a really great sort of part of that philosophy, encouraging students to step out of their comfort zone, find out who they are in a place that, may be slightly uncomfortable, but also a super, super fun and memorable time for them. So, yeah. All right, great. So if there are any questions, please feel free to put them into the Q&A or the chat. There were a couple of questions that came through ahead of time from some of the attendees when they registered. So the first one that I'm going to sort of ask, and I'll just I'm just going to answer it myself, was coming from Hong Kong, and it was, what about COVID? So I think that's a really fair question. What are we going to do this summer about COVID? I'll just start out by saying, Maine works really closely with our Department of Health and our Center for Disease Control, the Maine CDC, and we adhere to everything that they recommend. So whatever the government is recommending is what we will do. I certainly am not certain what the recommendations are going to be like in July when that happens. Currently, to travel to the United States, you do need to be vaccinated. Students come on a tourist visa or an ESTA visa, if you know what those are. And so you will need to be vaccinated to enter the United States. We will have a nurse on call at all times during the program. Our staff is trained in first aid. There is a health clinic that's only about 5 minutes away from our campus. And then there are a couple hospitals that are only about 15 minutes away. So we will test students if necessary, if required. Students most likely will be required to be vaccinated to enter the United States. And then we have health professionals that are ready on hand. So Maine, throughout this entire COVID pandemic, has had one of the lowest rates of infection in the entire United States. And so we hope that that will continue and that we will be able to hold this program safely. So, all right. So here's another question that I saw come through here. How many students do we receive every week? So throughout the entire summer, it gets really hard to predict this year because, again, we're just not sure how many families are going to be comfortable sending their students, what the health regulations are going to be. But what we are anticipating is having between 20 and 30 boarding students for the 4-week program. Like I said, most students do the full 4 weeks, but there's some that will choose to just do 2 weeks. And then for local students, again, hard to say, but we're hoping to have probably about the same number of local students, 20 to 30, that are going to participate in the various classes. But, there's just a lot up in the air right now. And so we'll see, but that's sort of what we're anticipating. So. All right, great. Let me see if there were any other questions that have already come through.
While you're doing that, I'll share a little piece of information.
Please.
I think every year that we run this program, we've had students come for the summer camp, and maybe they're not planning on coming for the year, but every single year we have had one student or more decide, I really love this program, I love this school, and they've just stayed for the whole school year because it's just a great time and they really enjoy the school. Yeah. We're proud of that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And that's a really, really good point. Yeah. And piggybacking off that, we welcome students that are coming for the academic year, but also if they just want to come for the summer, that's fine too. It's usually a mix. So yeah, awesome. Okay, good. Well, I think that is sort of all the questions I see. So, Daniel, I'm going to ask you, and I want the final question, unless there's any more that come through, which is, what do you have any favorite memories during the summer program? So, and I have one. If you are not ready and you want some time to think about it, I've got, because I already thought about this a little bit. So.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
So I know you mentioned it. When we go whitewater rafting, at the end of the trip, everybody has just made such strong connections and bonds that we all just get together. We have kind of like a closing circle where we all just get together in one room and we just go around and say something that we've really enjoyed about summer camp or somebody who's made it special. And it's very emotional. And it's just an amazing, amazing bonding experience because you really see the connections that you made, because everybody's just so sad to be leaving and going their different ways. And it really shows the impact of summer camp, which is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really great memory, certainly. Yeah, and it's true. It does. It's the bonds that are created, last really, we've had students come back multiple years. We know that students stay in touch. And so it really is a bond that lasts a very long time. Okay. And then mine is sort of, it's the opposite. It's kind of at the beginning of this program. So we, in addition to having these individual programs, sometimes we have, groups of students that come, and we had this group of students that came from Kazakhstan a few years ago. And it was this magical, magical evening on campus. There was a rainbow. We were eating ice cream. So we were like having ice cream with this rainbow, and like everyone was just like laughing and smiling. And then, the kids from Kazakhstan had just arrived, and Kazakhstan's a landlocked country and they had never seen the ocean before. So we decided to take them to the ocean, and it was sunset and the sun was setting. And so like the sky was all pink, and we crossed like the last road before the ocean. And then everyone just like set out running, and we just like all ran into the ocean at sunset, like after having this like ice cream with the rainbow. And it was a really, really magical moment, and everyone was just so happy. And, organizing this program always takes a lot of work, but knowing that like kids and staff and students take so much joy in it always makes it rewarding, I think, for all the staff and myself. So yeah. So great. So anyway, thank you all for joining us here this evening. And if you do have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can contact us at admissions@thorntonacademy.org, and we'd be happy to answer any other questions or schedule a one-on-one Zoom meeting if you'd like as well. So thank you. And the registration for the summer program also will go live later this week. So you'll be able to start registering your students starting either tomorrow or Friday. So thank you. And I hope you have a really great evening, everybody. So take care.
Pues listo, ahí está la información sobre los programas de verano en Thornton Academy. Muchas gracias, Katie. Y si llegan a tener alguna otra duda, por favor comuníquense al correo hola@amigoabroad.com o bien al otro correo highschools@amigoabroad.com. También nos pueden mandar un mensaje de texto a nuestra línea Amigo al teléfono +52, que es la clave de México, y el número es 81 17 00 4804. Nos dará mucho gusto atender cualquier inquietud que puedan tener. Pues listo, agradezco muchísimo el favor de su atención y los espero en un futuro video de Amigo Abroad. Hasta pronto.